Hello. Uh-oh, what happened here? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the drip. We were three, and then we were two, and then I don't know. Now, welcome to the show. It is the Monday before the Wednesday before we find out what happens next. We've got Spencer here with me. How you doing, Spencer?
Doing well, Gary. How you doing, Tony?
Yeah,
I'm doing all right.
cool. All right. We'll see if we can get Tony for the whole show this time around. Last time he just left us hanging. No phone calls today. Just making sure. I'm just gonna get it out of the way now. You gonna hang out with us for the rest of the show, or you got some, important things that have to be done as well?
No plans unless the neighbor comes with his pickup truck to pick up my lawnmower to go work on it.
All right. Well, the maintenance call. All right, I hear you. I hear you. Got Mr. Tom in the house. Welcome to the show, Mr. Tom. Got Miss Melina in the house. The BX from the Boogie Down is here with us. Anders from out from Sweden, if I recall. And then we've got Stefan. Did Stefan have a good weekend? I think he almost had a good weekend, and then he didn't. Well, it could have been better. Let's just say that. But anyways, here we go. Since the last time we chatted, I know Spencer. I've chatted with him on the weekend a little bit about this. I don't think I've talked to Tony about this, but right? I don't think we've talked since.
No.
Yeah. So Arsenal at home to Real Madrid. Pretty much everybody had us pegged to not show up enough in this one, and if we have a chance to win it, we need to have at least a 2-goal lead to make a case. Even that won't work. That won't help. But we got a 3-goal lead. No goals scored yet, and hopefully we can keep it that way. And Wednesday, Real Madrid has not scored on us in the Champions League knockout round, and it'd be nice to keep it that way. Don't you think, Tony?
Yep, it would be nice. We definitely have the defense to do it, especially if Timber's healthy. Glad that he was rested most of the game. He's been rested the entire game. Weird, we made the substitutions, then they score. 1 point for Arsenal, but Champions League's different. I know a long time ago I had this argument with Gary. Gary thought you had to have all the players and all the ingredients first, but I was like, you just have to be in the damn thing and see what happens. Now we're seeing what happens.
Well,
unpredictable.
I'll say this: that we're not getting in there, the Champions League, if we don't have the players we had to get in there. Now we're here. Now, as they say, when you're at the poker table, all you need is a chip in a chair. Right? You got a chance.
Yep.
And now we're taking that chance. We got nothing to lose because everybody thinks we're going to lose anyways, right? So I think we're playing with house money.
Yeah.
So I think we should just continue and act like we got nothing to lose, and smack people in the mouth before they have a chance to, realize that maybe they do have a chance. So yeah. No, I that game, the way it played out. I mean, I like a game like that where we're like, we won by 3, but we should have won by 6, huh, Spencer?
That is correct, Gary. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens on Wednesday. I mean, but thinking about it a little bit today, once work got done, scrolling through social media and seeing, Madrid's going to close the roof or whatever. Well, whatever they got to do to get themselves hyped for it. It's not going to be easy. By all means, I'm not being cocky about it, but I got a 3-0 lead going into it. I feel really good. I think the last time we gave up 3 goals was against Luton. I think it was like 500 some days ago. I mean, it could happen. I mean, I'm not blind to it or I guess, braggadocious going into it. But when you've gone 3-0 up, you have a little bit of right to feel confident about Wednesday. It was funny. My neighbor, he lives down the street. A buddy of mine, his son was in Madrid for a little bit, stationed over in Spain. And he drove by this morning as I was getting in the car. He said, "You guys are going down Wednesday." And I'm thinking in my head, like, that's okay as long as you guys don't score 3. So, that's whatever. So, I mean, it's, again, I do agree with Tony to an extent on this, that you do have to be in it, but also to go the distance in some of these things. I mean, I think you can get a lucky FA Cup run. I just think in the Champions League with the 2 legs, like that's really, I think I'm not a big fan of the 2-leg system now that we have the league format. If I'm honest, I think in the league format, again, if it was up to me in perfect world, maybe have a little bit more league games, and then it's knockout round from then. Whoever is the highest seed gets the home game, and that's it. But I don't run things, so no one's ever going to let me run things. So it's just a pipe dream. But I think in the FA Cup, or even the Carabao Cup, even though the semifinals has 2 legs there, I think when you're doing single elimination, you can kind of luck through it. Whereas in the Champions League, you have to be built for it a little bit. And the difficult thing is maintaining your position and ensuring that you get to go play in the Champions League again the next year. So I'm sure that'll be a discussion for later. But all things aside, everything's on everything in my mind is Wednesday.
Yep. Yeah. Well, as soon as we had that 3-goal lead, it was like we just can't handle any more injuries, and that's the one thing. That's the only thing that can derail us, but it hasn't derailed us enough that we still have something to play for, and that's been a good thing. No matter how many injuries we've had, we still have an opportunity to win a trophy, and nobody thought that would be the case. So we're gonna take that. We're gonna take it. Like I said. And I think, Tony, to your point in terms of you just need to be in it. We 2 years ago, if we were in it, I don't think we would be playing the same kind of football as we're playing now. I mean, I think we've established a core group of players and a core setup for our squad that no matter who they bring in, especially on the defensive side, and it seems also the offensive side with Moreno that we can get something out of them. So I kind of feel like we weren't ready to go in the Champions League when we finished second the first time. And the way we're playing right now, if we were playing Bayern Munich, I think in the quarters like we were last year, the way we're playing right now, I think the results would have been a little bit different because we were playing a much better style of football. We can handle everybody. And if a team is off, like Real Madrid is off, you see the results. And if Bayern Munich was off like they were last year and we're playing this way, I think, we would have saw different results, and maybe we do make it to that semis and have to play, I guess, what City, and we'll see. But that's kind of how I see it. I think I guess it's a combination of the two. You got to have the squad, but you also got to have a style of football in place that you can use. I don't know how you feel about that one, but I don't think we would have been able to do what we're doing today with the squad we had, when we weren't in the Champions League. Like if we were in the Champions League, 2 years ago, I guess, or 3 seasons ago, I don't think we would be able to play the same way we're playing today. I mean, look at what we're doing, Tony. How many people nobody scores on us. The only team that scored on us twice, PSV, in that game we were playing with subs. Otherwise, we only get one passes, and that's about it. I think our football better.
Still not the most attractive to watch, but it's the defense first. And I think this new format helps us that it actually is a league until you get to this point. And I agree with Spencer that it should continue out more league games, then you go to the knockouts. I'm not a fan of 2-legged affairs. To me, they're not do it. You go 2-legged on all these things, and you get to a championship. The championship should be 2 legs, and everything else is before it. But I thought this because originally you had Spurs finish 1 point ahead of us and they ended up going to the Champions League final. They weren't a better team than us, pretty much even footing. But we have got better. Should have been better. Been a lot easier to win the Champions League if we actually went out and got a striker. But 2 years in a row, we got lucky.
Are you sure they went to the Champions League final the year
Yeah,
that we finished a point behind them? What in the like you mean we finished in fifth?
yeah. When we finished in fifth. I
You
can't
mean
remember if it's the first time or
under
second time.
Arteta?
Emery.
Yeah.
I think it was Emery.
Under Emery, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember us being a point behind them then.
I don't know if it was a point behind, but we were in fifth.
It was Arteta. I thought.
No, because Arteta, they weren't in the Champions League when they were in the Champions League, but they didn't make it to the finals. That was we only been in the Champions League 2 years and 3 years ago, right? They didn't make it to the finals three seasons ago. I think that was Real Madrid. I think that won that one.
It was 4 years ago when it was a
3 seasons, Tony. It's 3 seasons, right? 3 seasons ago is when 3 seasons ago would have been when
we finished
that team was in the Champions League, Tony, right? That's only like 3 seasons ago. They would have been in the Champions League, and we were not. We were still in the Europa League, right? And
4 seasons ago, Gary, we finished behind them twice.
I think you're wrong, but who am I to say? I don't think they went to the finals. I think they went to the finals in 2019, is my understanding, not in 2022. 2019 is when they went to the finals, right? Because after that, I think Liverpool won and Real Madrid won, and Real Madrid won again, and then I think City won, right? Because Liverpool won one of those, right? I don't know who Liverpool played. Liverpool played, I think, after so I think you're talking about 2019. That would be Emery. You check it out and tell me, or you can lie and say, you check it out and tell me when they went to the finals. It's 2019, my man. I know that much. I heard it today multiple times.
Yeah, I was in DC for it was DC United in San Jose for that night. It was the same night as the Champions League final.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Did you miss going to MLS games? I'm not gonna lie to you, gents. A good time.
No, they're entertaining, but the football is just not the same because the little mistakes that they make, you're like, okay, that wouldn't let that slide in the.
I still had a lot of fun, man. It's 3 hours for me, so it's not like an easy trip to do. I wish it was closer, but whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to the game, but I'm not looking forward to the game. Yeah.
I just know what's going to happen, Gary. I'm going to be at work, so I'm supposed to get off at 3:30. I debated on 2 things. I debated on, hey, get up a little earlier, go into work an hour earlier so I can get out at 2:30. But I just know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to call me with some sort of problem at like the 19th minute mark. It's going to happen. It always happens. It happened in the first leg. It'll happen in the second leg. Sure as shit, someone will be like, Spencer, there's a crisis. And you're like, okay. Are you sure there's a crisis? I have a bigger one right now, Arsenal and Real Madrid.
That's why you have to leave at 1:30, because if you try to leave at 2:30, it's going to happen at 2:25.
It's very true.
So, Tony, did you confirm what I said? Or
it was 2019, but I still thought it was when we.
So, can you tell me? All right, here we go. Can you tell everybody Tony was wrong? Go on, say it.
Tony was wrong.
There we go. Right? We've heard it here, folks. It can happen.
15.
7:47.
15.
April 14th. Tony said, "I am wrong." I might have to snip that. Somebody in the chat snip that. Somebody in the chat snip that for me and send it to me. There we go.
That's got to be our next drop too. Yeah.
Yeah. That 15, at the 15-minute mark, Tony said, "I am wrong." Yes. And anytime you say something I don't like, I can just put that up there. That'd be cool. I
This
don't
is
have
perfect.
I got him to say it. We got him to say it. Now we have it.
I mean, let me know any drops you need, Gary. I'll gladly say what you need said.
No, that was a good. I like that one. I like that one. So no, I hear what you're saying, Tony. But this is
I'm still correct, Gary. We finished.
You said they went to the finals after they finished ahead of us by 1 point, Tony.
I did, and that was in 2000.
They didn't go to they didn't go to the finals under Arteta, who I asked you under Arteta, and you said yes. So you were wrong, Tony, and that's okay. You can be wrong.
But we still finished a point behind.
You were wrong, Tony. So everything after that it's just null and void. It doesn't even matter anymore.
I was wrong on the manager.
You were wrong on the year. You were wrong on a couple of things. All right. We'll go through the chat room.
But we still finished a point behind him, Gary.
Yeah, Stefan joins us and says hello. Ambivalent. We can. Yeah. I thought you guys were going to pull it out, Ipswich up 2-0 and finish with a point. So you take the point. Don't let Madrid cheat you because you know they will try. Yeah, they're going to be falling on the ground at will. We're going to blow, we're going to run by them and it's going to fall over, grabbing their ankles. I have no doubt. Yeah, no, they've already had that chat. The problem is how much cash did they lay down when they had that discussion with the refs. Madrid players are going on social media saying they're fired up for Wednesday. I heard. I don't know if you guys heard. I heard that they have Madrid is supposedly putting out like they will get bonuses if they win this. So that's supposedly how bad they want to win this. And I just like to say our defense travels. So yeah. Chris Nix joins the show. Hello to Chris Nix. Yeah, so Chris, Stefan gives us the history lesson here. Two-legged affairs have existed since the inception of the European Cup. Deal with it. It happens in a Copa de Live in South America as well. That's the way it is. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, two-legged affairs favor the bigger club. But when they had the I think not only that, but then when he took away the goal, away goal advantage, I think that also because you think you're going to lose anyways, but if you lose 3-2 on the road and you go home and you just get that one goal, you're laughing, right? You're laughing. So
yeah, I don't like the away goals rule. I'm glad that's gone.
It took way too long to get rid of it.
I kind of like it because it adds a little bit more. You guys want to add more? Like you want to add the same kind of like, cutthroat kind of feel to the game with a one match affair. Away goals matter especially if you're your team that we stole a goal here. That's all we need, and they play good defense. You're gonna take that. Yeah,
I was never a fan of it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, the whole away goal thing. This is gonna sound controversial, Stefan, but it sounds very Mickey Mouse to me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sounds very Mickey Mouse. Got Stan the Man joins us. You're predicting that Spencer will mysteriously come down with a bout of food poisoning on Tuesday night. There you go.
So am I supposed to actually lick the raw chicken?
Mama Spaghetti, just say that, and hopefully they get it. All right, Mama Spaghetti, yeah.
I saw, and of course now I can't use it, but I saw something like it was the things to do to get out of work. Go to work and bring a bottle of Pepto-Bismol with you and be like, I got to go, boss. This ain't working. They say you're allowed to shit your pants at least once in your life at work. I mean, you get joked for afterwards, but if you get to watch Arsenal play, I mean, is it worth it? I don't know.
You have to schedule that time in there, though.
You got to work these things out, man. If you're going to be dedicated to the cause, you got to find a way to just it works itself out. That's all.
It definitely works its way out. But,
oh yeah.
Why did Spitzer suddenly have a change of clothes at work?
Yeah.
Miraculously.
Yeah. So Tony, talk to me about Declan Rice, who was hating, I guess, on for a bit, but he showed
Right,
up. He
right.
showed up last week.
Yeah, I'm still there with you, Gary. I think he's had a poor year. You can always have the moments where you pull out and you do what he did. 2 free kicks, 2 brilliantly taken free kicks. It gets us 2/3 of the way to the 3 goals we had.
Yep.
But
Some people are saying he was man of the match without even the goals.
I'm not sure about that.
Who was a better player on the pitch? And we're talking not only goal scoring. You take away the goal scoring, but then everything else that he was doing in the midfield. Like whose midfield dominated that game? I know some people are going to say, Partey probably had a part to play in that. I don't think Erdegaard had as much as a part to play in that.
I think they all three did.
Mm.
I think they all three held their own, make Madrid uncomfortable. I mean, I know you were asking Tony, and I'm butting in, so I'll shut up.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think Timber was the key and the difference of the game because that defense is what allows you to do offensive stuff. But
I would have said Partey was better on the day.
You wish he was better on.
he said
if you're taking the goals away and just saying, just in general, I thought Partey was more key to what we did on Wednesday.
But look at their wingers, and they got shut down.
Yeah, they did get shots off, but they weren't quality shots. I think Mbappe had one good shot, and that with the rest of them are just in the side net over. Yeah, so I mean that's incumbent to Krivior too. I think, that's someone we need to talk about, right?
I've always defended the guy.
I listen. I think
he started 19 games.
Yep.
We've won 13 of them, drawn the other 6. But he doesn't do much wrong, and he doesn't get to play. And if you play him more, then you don't have Saliba and Gabriel less chances of them coming up with injuries. But I think the guy plays well, much better at center back than he is left back because that's not his trade. And also going against playing left back is Arteta wants you going forward. So that leaves the center backs on the island where you can put the blame on the full backs, even though it's not necessarily their fault. It's their instructions. But as far as being a defender, he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, and then this is all on Arteta, right? I mean, because he's playing players out of position, and we don't get to see them playing their preferred one, so we don't get to see them at their best. And then we complain about them not playing at their best when then people will turn around and say, "Look, this is what happens when they play their position."
Well, what happens when Ben White and Tomiyasu decide to not be healthy?
You mean be healthy?
Yeah, they decide to not be healthy.
Oh, well, that happens all the time.
So I can't blame Arteta for playing Partey and right back when Tomiyasu and White aren't available. He's got to play who he's got.
You go to a back 3.
He's not changing it.
Well, I'm saying that's what there is an answer. You don't like it because but
I didn't say I didn't like your answer. I'm just saying he's not going to do it. So
but I mean, so there is an approach then, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to change the system like that. I think he's more comfortable with the back 4. Yeah. I mean, you got to look at
somebody else that's. Go ahead.
You got to look at it from when we're in possession and not in possession. That's how you got to look at that. It starts in a 4, and then it progresses into like a 2 when we're in possession. Sometimes a 3. It all varies, but I don't know. I just have to blame some of the players for not being healthy too.
Yeah, but we've had Tierney. Arteta's finally chosen him, and he's not put a foot wrong either. So you have to play these guys. Arteta's always been, Gary calls it practice, but they call it training. But it's based off so much what he sees in training instead of senior bust your ass in a game. I mean, if you've been a professional as long as somebody is tyranny or something like that, you know what you need to do. Then some players just don't get up for practice.
I don't think you can get better if you don't practice. So I believe, and I truly believe this, and this is you practice the way you play, so you don't even have to like when you play. That's the relief. Like when you practice, it's hard work because you're doing things over and over again. When you get into the game, you don't even have to think anymore. And I believe
But
truly, if you don't practice the way you play, you can't just turn it off and on. It should always be there. Right. I believe that
but
truly.
is that what's getting us in trouble though with all these muscle injuries?
That's but that's why you
Don't
rotate, right? That's why you rotate. Like you're talking about minutes played and stuff like that. They're still practicing, right? So minutes played, like you don't have to play Saka 90 minutes when you're up 3-0 in a match with 20, 30 minutes to go. You don't have to play your center backs 90 minutes when you're up, 4-1 in a match, right? You don't you don't have to. That's why you have a squad, right? There's different ways you manage the minutes, and if you never, if you, they never, he never pulled his center backs ever,
nope.
never pulled Saka, right? Kai Havertz never wants to pull him as often. He's pulling Erdogan, right? Who needs the minutes in my eyes, but he's not pulling the players that are over. Like look at their minutes; they're like as you said, right, getting close to 4,000 minutes in a season. Crazy. Crazy. And then you look at the City lineup and you're like, nobody, like they've got 3 players in the 3,000. So we've got 8. And you wonder why we're breaking down, right? Because the squad isn't being utilized as it should.
And now we're finding out that we have the players to do that. You have Tierney.
You had some of those players before, you just didn't utilize them. Like
He's never has.
when he cleaned the slate of all the players before, then he had his players. He never used it. He still didn't utilize them. Right?
Yep.
I mean, and for me, I don't care if you're gonna hold on to a player and not try to sell them, then you better use them because you might have to use them, right? And that's exactly what he did when he got to the squad, right? When he got to the team and he had half a season to work with him, what did he do? He utilized all those players and put them in positions to succeed, right? And then when he started bringing his old players, all of a sudden he didn't like what he saw. But you know what? You've got them. You have to find the best way to utilize them. And he didn't do that, and we paid for it dearly with late season collapses. All right, because we don't rotate our squad. Form goes down. We see Saka with his form going down, and we're not going to pull him out of games. All right.
Yep.
And then now we see him break down for real, right? So I kind of feel like that's on not necessarily building a squad, but actually utilizing the squad. There's a plus for every player you have on your team, and Arteta does not, in my eyes, use all of them for where they could be successful.
Yeah. So if I may hop in on this one, because squad rotation I think is very important. And you talk about it a lot of times, Gary, and I think it is a very important thing. And I think I know people talk about, hey, who we're bringing in this summer, and we're about to play in a Champions League quarterfinal up 3-0 over Madrid, so it feels really weird to talk about summer transfers. But I think the goal, if the new sporting director, I guess is the proper term, comes in, it's like, hey, we need to look at positions 12 to 16 on this team, right? And that's where, and I think Tony said this last week. He's like, well, or 2 weeks ago, it was, hey, sometimes Arteta doesn't use the 5 subs. And an honest question is, hey, when we look at our lineup sometimes, where do you see the 5 subs coming from? If you think about how a game could break down and we're 1-1 and we need to get that second goal, who's the guy on the bench? A lot of times, don't start Trossard. Let him sit on the bench. He comes on, he's a better finisher. Sometimes don't start Martinelli. Like there's different guys for different situations. And you almost need to look at like, hey, we're talking about potentially going to get Yorkis in the summer. Havertz is still here as a striker, so you got those two. But why not go get yourself a Chris Wood type player that, I need a guy that can sling the ball in the box and you can head it in for me. Like, start looking at certain utility players. I talked to my buddy Matt this weekend, and I said, there's one player right now that I think would be looked at completely different in Arsenal fans' eyes if he'd been played in what I consider his better position, Zinchenko. I think Tony's brought this up. Tony
Yeah,
talked
brought
about
it up several times.
100%. And I think him playing left back has just tainted his view. He's a player that could be playing in the midfield.
We've seen this before, right? We saw this with our captain, right? Xhaka. Xhaka, remember when he played left back?
He played the 6 for a wild time, and I thought the 6 wasn't his good position.
6 was worse, and then he went to right back, and he doubled down, and he drank the beer and everything. Hold my beer a second. Let me play left back. Remember that? That was ugly. That was Zinchenko, left back, where you're like, oh crap.
Well, what's bad is he did it. He seen it didn't work, and then he did it again in semifinal or whatever that was of Europa.
And then he moves him up to the front of the, further up the pitch, and you're like, well, damn it! If we had that last season, who knows what we would have finished. We would have got what we wanted.
I'll tell you what I'm looking at right now. If I'm thinking about this team, and I know, like I said earlier, Champions League quarterfinal, here we go. But I think there's something to be said for what players play in their international teams, right? Tomiyasu plays center back. Kivior plays center back. I get it. Kivior had to play left back for a little bit because we were hurting. I get it. Tomiyasu can do it, but I'm just, if we're looking at, the 4 defenders, I'm looking right now. I'm looking at Tomiyasu and Kivior, and then, of course, Gabriel Saliba. And then I've got White, Timber, Lewis Skelly, and I've got Calafiori. That's a pretty good, solid back line, right? We're looking good there.
And Tierney that also plays center back.
I know, yeah, but right. Tierney played center back for Scotland and left back and everything. He's going to be on his way out of the door. I mean, you're looking at Partey rolling out, Zubamendi potentially coming in, rumored, whatever. But, you're starting to build this squad, and you're starting to think like, but also I mentioned 6 players right here. You need a 7th, right? Because someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get a knock. Just the way it goes. But the squad building, I think, is the most important thing in this offseason. Not just the bringing in a big-time striker, but making sure, Odegaard can get the good rotation. We've seen and I guess it's going to be my point. Kivior has been forced into a position now where Arteta's watching him play regularly. Well, Miles Lewis-Skelly doesn't get that same opportunity if someone doesn't get hurt, right?
So that's why Nweri is not getting the opportunities.
He still got opportunities because people got hurt.
No, I'm saying, but now as soon as they come back, then you're like back to the bench, and you're like,
it's part of it. But
you're missing it. You may actually have answers to your questions, but
correct.
you never even ask the question anymore. Can Nweri come in and support me late in the game? Could Nweri actually start games where maybe we're going to dominate the game, right? And so we don't need, you don't need whatever we need, whatever the reason is, then where we cannot start with Saka, whatever that reason is.
I know.
Sometimes
you know what? You're passionate for Nweri. I love it, Gary. I really do. I'm telling you, you need to buy yourself an Nweri shirt. I'm all for it. I love your
I was a Martinelli enthusiast a couple years ago.
I still am a Martinelli enthusiast. I'll be the only person on that thing. This is what kills me. You had the right left back playing on Saturday, Kieran Tierney, that allows Martinelli to cut in. I think that's when he was at his best, when he was cutting in.
Yeah, but we didn't get to see it, right?
Yeah,
the one play that we have up the right hand side, it's Partey and Rice. You're like off of a corner. You're like, well, how does that work out? And let me go through this chat because I missed a couple of good messages here.
But you are right about Nweri. Yeah. I mean,
like I said, the reason why Skelly's getting all the plaudits is because he plays more, and he's, I think they're both quality players, Nweri and Skelly. Skelly everybody says Skelly seems to be the more talented one, but I think that's just because he's getting more minutes. I'd like to see him where he get more minutes because he'll be able to work through some of the growing pains. Partey at right back, I've hated it ever since. And once again, we have not got a win with him at right back.
And when there, you have to make the deal that he skipped under 21s. He went from the under 18s into the full team.
But what's the problem with that? I mean, I think that
There's not a problem with it. But
so then
there's
that's
a
not
difference.
I wouldn't have brought it up because that's not the reason why we shouldn't play him is because he skipped. It's because he skipped because he's good. You know,
Oh,
I mean,
but
talking about
I'm
Yamal
saying,
playing the way he is. Did he play in the U21s? Probably not.
I'm just
Right?
saying Skelly's had more minutes with the bigger guys
Yeah.
than what when Harry's had.
They're both.
Even though when Harry looks fine, if you put him out there, but Arteta
Yeah. No,
just
I
doesn't
think the
favor
more.
him for whatever reason.
Yeah, the more touches you get, I think the better he is. We don't give him touches, and then it looks, and then people will complain that look, he's out of the game. It's like, well, you know what? When you don't pass him the ball when you have an opportunity to, yeah, that's going to happen. You
I
guys
think
talking about
that's
it?
why
Yeah.
I
But
think
let me
that's
go.
why
Let me
he's
go.
starting.
Let me go through the
Okay.
chat real quick before I've been not looking at the chats. Stan has a lunch, a business lunch for 2 hours that gets him out maybe to watch some matches. But what else we got here? Yeah, he scored a great goal, but he might have pulled something when he was running all the way down that pitch. I'm not happy about that. Arteta is stubborn and one-dimensional, not being able to switch up tactics and formations in a pinch is terrible, man. I think he should be able to switch up things every once in a while. Tierney getting match fit to go in. Yeah, it's crazy, right? He's playing some good football. It's almost like Xhaka playing some good football. We're gonna let him go basically for nothing, right? Got Geeks of Muckleby in the house. Welcome to the show. Yeah, no, how we manage our players to maximize the impact of the minutes. Yeah, I always, I call that just putting your players in positions to succeed, right? Put them in, you look at our lineup when we won an FA Cup. I think we have better squads now, and we can't even get like 3 wins on a trot in the FA Cup now. You know what I mean? So, there's something to be said about that, right? And Tierney could go as a right back, a center back cover. Yeah. We'll see how he does when he gets there and he's playing football. If he'll be able to make it. If we get to the semis, we'll legitimately be one of the best 4 teams in Europe. Mikkel should get some. I think, I think the way that for me, this first leg is similar to that. I wouldn't say that first leg against City, but it wasn't Mikkel actually coaching us then. It was what's his name? The guy with the AirPods, Albert. But it was the same squad. So, I mean, for me, that showed me that the team has it. And this is the first half here. Once again, we can compete with these guys. Celtics are getting back their prodigal son after everything at Arsenal. He should have never left. Yeah. Well, it should have worked out for him. I think his injuries didn't help, and that's just maybe it's just the league. Yeah. We just gotta win. We gotta win this match. I don't want to think too far ahead. PSG are flying. I think Barcelona is flying. Into Milan is flying. I think there's a lot of teams that we're gonna have to deal with. So yeah, got Brenny in the house. Welcome to Brenny. Saying hello, everybody. Yeah. You can see Zinni looked better as a midfielder and he scored, right? I mean, we haven't even seen Erdegaard really put a shot in like that since he's been here in a while, anyways. Got Rosie in the house. Welcome to the show, Rosie. Yeah. I hope this doesn't happen where Miles Lewis Kelly gets stuck in that left back role because you know what, he's good there, and we don't want to go get a left back and let him play in his preferred position. So I kind of feel like, that's what Arteta, that's kind of where I think he goes wrong sometimes. He'll play somebody just because he can, but not because that might be their best position. I think players in their best position is what you want to do. Because then you don't have to go out there and find, rotate players in and out of the lineup. Like I think right now with Ben White and Tierney, and Timber, you have your fullbacks, right?
So, question I got, and this is a hypothetical. I know you're going to the chat. What if England is like, "Hey, MLS, you're our left back," and I mean, I don't really know England's midfield hierarchy off the top of my head. I really don't. But it'd be hard to get in over, I think, Rice, Bellingham, and I don't know. Like I said, you're more privy to the England team, but do you think where England views him matters to his future as well?
I know. The manager for England said I'm playing him there because that's where Arteta plays him. But for me, from what I've seen from Maslow Skelly, yeah, he should. I would not be surprised. He can compete with Rice. He's actually playing. For me, the way he's playing, he would be playing his preferred position. He can play. He's just a strong player.
Mm-hmm.
He can move the ball up the pitch. We've seen him score and attack. The things that Rice is doing, I feel like you see similar things from in where they are different. Sorry, from Skelly. I think there are little different skills, but I think you'll get quality out of that 8 spot with him there. If that was the difference, I like to see Skelly do that.
But is this the time you do it, Gary? Because you're pretty much guaranteed to be in the top 5 in the Premier League. So I think you can go out there and try with players in different spots.
Well, once again, it comes down to our injuries, and that's probably why.
Instead of being like we were last year,
Yeah.
we spent all this money on Calafieri, but you had Skelly the whole time.
Yeah, I hear you, but I don't think now is the time to. If we were out of everything and we were just playing in Premier League, yes, but we're still playing in Champions League, and so I don't think now you're experimenting with players in different positions in the Premier League. I just we actually wanted them to rest, all right. So I say now is not a right time to do that. If we were out of the Champions League, then I think I could see why you would say that. For me, not right now, anyways. Maybe next week we'll have a reason to do something like that. Hopefully not. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's me. I think he's shown that he can play the left back, and I think he's shown when he comes into the middle what he can do. He looks comfortable in that midfield, right? And even when he plays for England, right, he comes into the midfield. He looks really good there as well. When a player looks really good, like we're inverting like he does and playing in that position for a lot of the game, maybe, and that's their preferred position. Maybe you just set him up there. You don't have to make that move. I think that's why Partey has problems for me, is that he has to go from a right back and then invert inside to get into his position that he typically would take. And I think that movement for me on an old legs is bad. I think it wears you down. People say, "Oh, he's not running as much," but I'm saying it's that the movement is different. You change positions, even if you invert and get into that similar position. He's already there when he plays midfield. Now he's got to invert into that position. It's extra on old legs, nah, and it definitely wears you down. I mean, we all talk about it. Arsenal players will get worn down because they are asked to do a lot. It's a high intensity the way that we play. We get worn down. That's why we should be using our squad.
Yep, that's going to be the goal in the summer. Like I said, beating the dead drum, but
you said 16. I would say with 26 the players you can register, you have to be 2.5 times deaf. Yeah.
Well, the other thing to think about here is you've got players like Fabio Vieira. He's probably going to come back in the squad. I mean, look, if Kieran Tierney can come back, Fabio Vieira could come back. I never thought we'd see Tierney play again.
There are 2 different levels of players. I
know they're 2 different levels of player, but Vieira's young.
Yeah.
I mean, if these guys are still 22, 23, you can't bend them off immediately. Yeah. I think you can probably bend off, what's that kid's name right now off the top of my head? Lakonga's probably done.
Yeah.
If we're honest. But Vieira, there's still a player there.
I just don't think he's built for the Premier League. Like you're talking about midfield, right? And I can't see him holding up in the midfield. The man's always fall. Why he's always falling on the ground? Why? Because he gets bumped.
I mean, Bruno falls down all the time.
Yeah, but Bruno will knock you down as well.
I'm about to look something up. I'm curious. I'm curious. Come on.
We've seen
You know,
Bruno knock. He punched Giorgino in the face. I think he falls down. Yes, because he's trying to draw a foul, but the man will knock you down as well. I believe we've seen it firsthand. Hope you guys have enjoyed me going through the chat. I've gone through it fast, but we've been chatting it up here. So hope you've enjoyed that. Tierney was phenomenal. Those first 2 seasons, but then injuries derailed his progress. No, I loved him. I thought he should have been our captain when he came in. When he played, that first time he played, they brought him in, and they played him and said, all right, there's our left back. I was like, we got him. And then when him and who else? Who would come in for Tierney late in games? Who was it? Maitland-Niles, I think it was, would come in. I think it was one of those games we were playing. Adamatore was playing, and then Tierney was wearing down, and they brought in Maitland-Niles, and he basically just shut him down for the rest of the for the last part of the game. And it's like there was that's what you wanted to do, right? Tierney can start a match, do most of the minutes. He starts to wear down. You bring in Maitland-Niles, and he just shuts him down, and you get nothing because Adamatore, as you know, will go at your fullbacks if you wear down.
He still would be better at American football than world football.
If they can figure out how to get him to shoot better, I mean, that's a mental thing because they put him in goal. He puts himself in the front of the goal too many times for him not to hopefully get it right. I think that's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. It's like free throws. You just got to see it go in. Everybody, here's the chats. Here's some links from Rosie. All right. So let's talk a little.
Rory reminds me of. I hate to interrupt, but it's too funny. You remember the guy, the voodoo guy from Major League? Could crush a fastball, but the minute a curveball came in,
Jobu, right? Is it?
Yeah,
Jobu?
there you go. He reminds you of. Like he just can't do that one thing. He's great outside, but once he gets in front of the goal, he don't know where it's going to go.
I can see that.
I just love the shrine inside of his locker.
Melina is firing her staff. I don't know what that means. Oh, where's Melina? Why is she? Where is she? What's going on? I don't know who this Pedro Serrano guy is, but yeah, we'll talk real quick about the game and we'll get into the next one. I think we have done all of that, but I like the fact that we rotated for Brentford. I mean, I hate the fact that we gave up the silly goal that we did. I'm not sure if we had another goal in us, but I'm really upset that we did give up that goal, which I think has just been part of our makeup this season, that we're going to give up that goal. We always seem to give up that goal, especially in the Premier League, especially when we go ahead. What was it? Somebody said it's 8 times we've gone ahead for the 12 draws that we've had, and we've done that from ahead. Been ahead in games and given up the goal to drop 2 points. That's 16 points we have dropped. And if we, 6 or 7 of those, if we did 6 or 7 of those and one of them was against Liverpool, we'd be sitting a point behind, if not sitting tied with them, So, yeah. And I think some of it's clinical striking, but I also think it's some, falling asleep in defense a lot of the times. And that might be from, the wear and tear of not being you can't be perfect. Defense is not going to be perfect. When they watch the offense not be perfect, I think it rubs off. It rubs off.
I still think it's because of the way he uses the fullbacks. They get too far forward and they get caught in these silly mistakes.
Pedro Serrano was Jobu. He was praying to Jobu. That's what it was. Pedro Serrano was praying to Jobu, and Jobu wasn't helping him. But yeah, no, I hear you, Tony. So who's going to Butler if the Butler's been fired? I don't know. That's a Mel question, I think. Check out all We All Love Leeds on Sundays if you want. Tony, you doing any shows this week?
Yeah, it's WrestleMania week, so of course I'm doing shows, Gary.
There
Doing my
you go.
normal one.
Check
Normal
out.
one on Thursday. Two shows Saturday and a show Sunday.
Oh, there you go. Busy man. Busy man. For the Brentford goal, Saliba should have been more dominant on the back post. Yeah. I kind of blanked out how we gave up that goal, but yeah.
It did feel kind of lazy, like the defending in that moment, but I really wasn't I was just honestly, I know this sounds stupid. I just didn't really care about Saturdays. I wanted the 3 points, but I could have lived with what happened. But again, it's really in 12 draws over the season just doesn't sit well, right?
Nope.
It's like we're gonna. I mean, I think we've already hashed out, where our feelings are, but it's. We've got another 6 games left, so God knows how the hell that's going to end. Did we end up with 14 draws? What do you guys think? I mean,
we could get 17 and have a record. And that's for a 22 team instead of 20 team.
I mean, it's definitely. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to rehash it, but it's.
No, but it's a reason why we need to make some changes, because the reasons why we either lost it is we didn't score that, we didn't get that goal to put us up 2, we weren't able to get the goals to put us up 1, all these types of things. So different reasons why we had draws in these games, right?
I mean, to me, it impacts what the Champions League is going to be like too, because we're if we get through Wednesday, you're looking at 3 games, right? And reality is, whoever you get for the semifinal, probably PSG. You've already beat them once. I know they're playing well, but I mean, God,
but isn't there a little bit of vengeance on their part wanting to get
possibly
back at us?
I think they just want to prove that they can win without Mbappe, right? Like, I think that's a big thing. I don't know if they're really thinking about Arsenal as far as that goes, but
I'm not sure what Mbappe was thinking this weekend getting a red card.
He was probably hoping he could miss Wednesday. He's like, "Oh, it doesn't count? Oh no!" I mean, yeah. Again, the game. I just felt really. I don't know about you. Like, I didn't watch the stream because I know you did one with Ryan. I think Gary. I mean, what was the vibe like in the stream? I mean, because like I said, I didn't watch it. I just watched the game itself. So,
for the Brentford match, like I said, I think it was just, there you go. There's that goal, because we've done it so often this season. So I think it's a surprise, but it's not a surprise. It's a disappointment, but it shouldn't be, because we've seen it so many times, right? We just can't get that second goal to get us that 2-goal lead that we need, and so I kind of felt like, yeah, no, and the way that Everton got their goal, it always seems like there's that one chance a team has, and they usually are able to take advantage of it every time, right? Every time there's been that one goal. Let's see, for the Brentford goal, Saliba. Oh yes, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Check out these other spots. Arsenal Alliance got the View on Sports. Check that out. Sounds like Alan Sugar. Sounds like a not so good guy. Stefan's got a channel. Check it out. I don't know how often he's there. Stan the Man usually puts out some videos sometimes, I think, or should check that out. We are not going to reel in Liverpool. Grew the gap to Forest 6. Not a disaster scene. Madrid is the main. Yeah, no, for sure. I think we don't have the squad to catch Liverpool. And we, if we were clinical striking, we would have it, and we wouldn't, even with the injuries, we would have been fine. But yeah, I think we're fine where we are. Don't like to give up on stuff, but we can't be stretching ourselves thin. Check out Line Tech. Yeah. So yeah. Spencer, have you changed your username, buddy? I can't find you in my subs.
I don't know what that means.
What is your
username on your?
on YouTube? Is it VA Bronco? Like what is it?
I've got 5 channels. I really do. There's a couple that are just I don't know, man.
So there you go, Rosie. You probably have one of the 5.
You can share whatever you got. I mean, a couple of them are just kind of in existence, and they do stuff. There's stuff on there. I just want it to grow organically. I don't want anybody to know that they're there. Does that make sense?
You want to be organic, but
well, no. So I got this one that I do, and then of course I have the NFL one I talk on, which will be coming back soon. But
yeah, well, the draft is coming up soon,
the other
right?
2 are just video game channels, and the other one is just like I put random pet stuff on there.
I have 2 channels, but one of them I don't even know why it's there. I shouldn't even have it because I don't ever use it. And every once in a while I'll go, why do I only have 1 subscriber?
Because you don't do anything.
It's the wrong channel.
The cool thing about having that is you get like 5 different types of suggestions, which is weird. So you'll be like, oh, I haven't seen this in a while. So, yeah.
True. Yeah. No, I've been disappointed with all of our drawers because I believe we've had chances to win all of them, and 12 is just too many. 12 is just too many. Next up,
I mean that's really what changed though. That's why we were finally competing for the titles, because we were getting just like 3 to 4 draws. Now this year it's now they're control.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd rather take the loss than a draw, because it's 1 point. You might as well go for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you take those 12 draws and you get 6 wins and 6 losses, you're better off.
Yep.
You got 6 points extra there, and you know what? Like I said, if that's against Liverpool, you're only like 3 points behind him, I think, or something like that. So yeah, why not? Why not make it? So yeah. What else we got? So we're playing Real Madrid at the Bernabeu.
Did Gary know all about closed roofs?
I don't even know what that.
Dallas doesn't know how to open.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a good? I don't know what the benefit of the closed roof is.
Louder, Gary.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay. As I say, defense travels, and maybe Arteta will close the roof on Colney so we can simulate the same thing, or just play a lot of screaming and cheer.
How great was that? Yeah, I mean, people laugh at that, but that is something that people that teams do to prepare for things. They pipe in crowd music. It's a legit thing. Mostly you see it in college, right? Because the 18-year-olds haven't experienced it yet. Mm-hmm. You don't see it a lot with pros, but the wet ball drills is a legit thing. Remember the NFL, I think they used to do it with Peyton Manning, and then they used to do it, and I think they used it in the Super Bowl against the Bears, and it helped out. But
does it really matter, though, Spencer, as tacky as those gloves are?
Not anymore. I mean, it was probably more effective back in the 80s and 90s, but
Now you can just stick your hand up on a ball and just stick to it.
I mean, I get that stuff, but I think, I don't know. I guess you have to put your blinders on. That's all. Players drown out that they get screamed at all game. They have to drown that out as well. So, what's the difference if it's like whatever? I don't know how many people fit into that stadium. Well, you know what? You can make it really quiet. You know how you do that? Just score the first goal.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's yeah, I don't know how much these players, when the emotion's going on, I don't know how much they play into this noise. I mean, I tell you what, when Arsenal went and played Bayern Munich last year, and the fog went off and you couldn't see. I
Yeah,
imagine
I think that makes a difference when you're in those leagues like Germany, where you have the flares and stuff going on.
there's a shock factor, right? But again, like I believe this. I think you're in the best position to go there. You're up 3-0. I know some people said that. I think I saw someone say that they'd rather been up 2-1. I'm like, that's insane.
You know, I guess it's one of those things where you're up 2-0,
Yeah.
and that's the worst position to be in, supposedly, right?
I mean, obviously for this team, 1-0 is. So I mean, there's
Besides,
that.
we have that buffer that I like to have.
Think about this. The team scored 2 goals, Gary. We're nowhere near 12 draws. We know this.
Yeah.
So the 1-0 lead is the most dangerous lead for this team. I laugh, but we also cry at it because we can just see I can see the Man City goal. There's, you can see the bright and whatever. But I mean, just big moments, and I think they grew up from last year's experience in Bayern Munich, even through the defeat. I mean, we've watched this team and this core group, however you feel about the lack of trophies or whatever, like whatever your barometric is for this team. I think we all look at it in slightly different. We've watched them grow up through different situations. The Porto defeat, in the shootout rounds, beating them last year, Bayern Munich defeat. Like, we can go through the failures these teams have dealt with. And there becomes a moment where you sit there and you say, okay, is it failure in your DNA, or are you learning from this? And I think we saw the Rice free kicks obviously were moments of, I think I've made this up in my mind now, Garrett and Tony. No matter what happens Wednesday, you're going to sit here 10 years from now and be like, yep, those Rice 2 free kicks. We know we didn't go through, but you're not going to forget that. But the Moreno goal, you're still up 1-0. And the Moreno goal was a really good goal. And if it's not for Timo Courtois, you're probably up 6-0 on aggregate right now. And you're thinking really nicely about it. But you don't have to win on Wednesday. You just don't have to concede 3 goals. And you'd like to score a goal too. Put the pressure on them.
That's why I'm saying there's nothing we really need to change. You just have to be prepared to play our style of football, and we'll be all right.
I hear people saying park the bus. My buddy said that's absolutely not. We'll go there and play.
We can't play that way.
Go there and play.
We can't play that way.
I mean, I'll be.
That's why I thought I thought they were the best team for us, because they play that open style. So we have those chances to get back behind the defense and get my goals. And that's kind of what happened, because if we were playing Madrid, then we'd have to get past their bus, which would have been a much harder task, I think.
Yeah. I heard. Yep.
I think it's I don't know. We'll see Wednesday. I know. I don't know how you're going to watch the game, guys, but I'm not sitting on a stream. There's no way. I don't know how you could torture yourself with that. If I get home,
Gary's used to it by now.
Well, I have work, so if I can get out early, I'll try to. But 3 o'clock is a little too early. Usually, I can get out at 4. So usually, I can watch the second half either in the car ride home, or I can leave early enough that I get home and I can watch the second half at home, depending on what time I finish up.
Just bring a change of clothes and shit yourself like Spencer.
Hey, listen,
I don't know about all that.
Are work sucks advice. I mean, I'll probably, like I said, I'll see what I can do to sneak out. But the problem I have, guys, I took Thursday and Friday leave, so I can't really just bend work for like the next day. And there was 2 things this week that I was looking at. I was like, I might have to do these Tuesday just so I don't have to deal with them. But I don't know. We'll see. But no, I think for me, I'll get home and I'll probably hop on the bike and just bike until it's over, man. I've done that for games. Obviously, you have to watch your heart rate, right, to make sure you don't have a heart attack. But
I set up my
It's Arsenal.
I set up my
It's Arsenal.
Peloton so I can put on the YouTube TV. So
Look, man,
I'll
I'll
set
do
stuff
whatever
like
I
that.
can to get that 45 minutes through it. I usually ends up being about 9-10 miles knocked out for me. So two
sounds
birds,
good.
one stone.
Mhm.
It's better than drinking. So,
So when you watch a show, do you still get the audio from the instructor, or do you just ride and that's it? I don't know
so
how
it
it works.
depends. No, so if you're riding just the YouTube TV, you're just gonna get the actual.
Okay.
But if you, I mean, I'll do instructor shows occasionally, but normally I just go in there YouTube TV. I put it to 45 to 50 resistance, and I just go.
I hear that.
So
All right. So yeah, Geeks of Muckaby saying that we have to watch out. Madrid's going to be falling all over the place trying to draw
Yeah.
that early penalty, and that makes a lot of sense. They're at home. We all know the mystique of playing. Of them playing at home. They're going to try and get anything on their side. Like I said, the one way we can combat it, and the only way we've been able to combat it, I think, is to just score a goal. Like they can't take away goal. They can't take away a goal. A lot of times they can't take them away. So
You've advanced. You went from shooting the ball to getting into the back of the net.
Well, first we weren't shooting. We shot 12 times, 11 on target. I think that's good quality shooting against Real Madrid, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're shooting.
It makes you wonder why we can't do that in the league.
In the league, it's totally different. It's a different animal. That's the problem. They don't play the same way. I mean, that's the problem, and that's on Arteta to figure out how to do that. Does he not have the right? Like, I think he is so probably risk averse that he doesn't put us in a position to actually push other teams. So we just lay back and then they catch us, right? I mean, that's what I think happens. I think we need to take more risks. When we put more players up top, we put more pressure on them. When we sit back and we make little mistakes and then we pay for it. And a cat, my mom came to stay with us a while ago and brought our cat. The cat is cute as a button, but it has what a total dick. You've seen those things with the cats and how they can be dicks.
They can be pricks.
Spencer knows that. You were just
it's like the cat. Remember the cat with the glass, and then the owner shows the cat what will happen if that glass falls off, and the cat's like, "All right, let me push it back away from the edge of the table." It's like, okay.
We've got one that acts like that, and whatever. I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, thanks for everybody joining us. I see we got I think we got 12 people watching us. So cool,
yep.
Very cool.
Thank you for coming by.
Yes, thank you. Yes, yeah. Daisy is only a kitten, but she made more holes in my curtains in a tea bag. Ooh, okay, that sounds like a lot.
That's why you got to put scratching posts out. We actually don't have long curtains, so whatever.
Martinelli for pace and Erdegaard will have to have a good performance for us to put pressure on them. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If they're going to come at us like that, Martinelli's got to be ready, and Erdegaard's got to be ready to get that ball away. But also, I think Raya might also play a part. If he comes in and accepts the ball and looks up, and there's Martinelli racing down that left-hand side, maybe the ball's gone. So, yeah, the same way we called out Brentford, right? You can catch out Real Madrid same way. Little roller to Rice, and all of a sudden the ball's in the midfield, and there's nobody in front of him.
Raya's responsible for that third goal. He starts the build-up play for that.
Yeah, he's been really crucial in those situations.
Sorry to bring something up here, but the rumor's been flying around about Ramsdale. I guess West Ham's looking at him.
He's a good shot stopper. I think Manchester United. Yeah, I mean he's a good shot stopper. And that's what they need. So
I mean, I if I was United or West Ham, I would absolutely try to buy Rams. I played the position. Like if you don't have a good defense in front of you, there's only so much you can do.
True. So you got Tiger and Guna in the house. Welcome for joining us all the way from Australia. Probably just waking up, right? By having your coffee with us. But yeah, no, I feel, as you said, he's a good shot stopper, and that's what they need. Got BP. BBK Sports is in the house. Thanks for joining us. I got to listen to his show yesterday. Cool. Check that out as well. If I mod for someone, I feel obliged. Plus, I enjoy being on Mr. Arsenal. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but yes. No, I think it's we're gonna see how Arteta talks to gets these players ready to go for this game. But if he does anything close to what he did at the home match, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I mean, it's pretty simple. You like, to me, it is at this point. Like, this is where, again, this goes back to the practice thing, and you got 17 and 18-year-old, two of them playing with this team. And I'm a big fan of practice too, Gary. You can't reward people for half-assing it through practice, especially when you got 17, 8-year-old out there learning. You just can't. I mean, if the players, Ronaldo but Ronaldo's going to work, right?
All of those players that everybody looks up to, they practice hard.
Yeah.
They can't do any of that stuff not practicing. You know what I mean? Like, all that stuff is there. You know, you see, I think you see Ronaldo. At practice, they're doing the things they do in the game, and I don't believe you can just turn it on for the game. I think you're doing it all the time.
Yeah, again, like this becomes, it's why you keep guys like Jorginho around, because they teach Skelly and Weary and Martinelli how to be good pros.
Yeah.
Right. So that's really part of that. Like, you bring your veteran guys in to be an extension of the coaching staff, you know, because Arteta can only manage so many personalities. Well, that's when Odegaard steps in. That's when Jorginho, Partey, whoever, like, pick your name, Rice, whatever. And you're sitting there training them. Like, the under 21s are watching them. The under 18s are watching them. The academy kids are watching these guys. If we don't have guys that are putting 100% in at practice, then what there's a good phrase for this, and I can't think of it. It's a really stupid military phrase, but it's like, if you train properly, you'll fight properly. Like, it's kind of one of those, it becomes muscle memory, right? Muscle memory is a very big thing. And if you don't put in the time, you're not going to, it's not going to become second nature to you. You'll freeze up in the moment.
Yep.
But I still question if that's retraining as responsible for a lot of the.
If you heard Arteta talk about the training and stuff, they're not doing as much as you think. You're not doing as much. I mean, to me, I think sometimes you might not be doing enough, and that's why they get injured. But then he's also saying, I don't really have time to. If I practice these guys, I'll kill them. Is basically what he's saying. So, but my thing is, in the games, it's higher intensity. So at some point you might have, that's when I think you need to rotate. But so that's kind of how I feel as well. That's where the minutes, and then you talked about experience a little bit there, and I think we've got both Partey and Moreno, I believe, right? That come from La Liga recently, so they would have known how to play against Real Madrid.
It's a very good point.
And so experience will play there. They've played against them at their peak. I mean, I think when Partey left that season, even though we got him late, he got him in the early part of the season. They won the league, La Liga, that year, but he was part of that squad, before after that season had started. But he didn't. I don't know if he got a trophy for it because I don't think he played enough games. But yeah.
Well, again, I think this is a good point you brought up. You've got to think about this too. Moreno played in the league. Partey played in the league, recently. Odegaard came up through their system, right?
Mm-hmm.
He understands what it means to put on that Madrid shirt. So there's three people that know it and can express it to the rest. But I wouldn't overhype the guys. My mentality is, look, this is just another game. Go in there, do what you have to do, play your game, get that first goal. I think that's really it. But if there's the first 15, 20 minutes of this game is so critical. I say that overhype, but I mean, it really is going to dictate, I think, how it goes. If they score early, hang on for your hat. If we score early, still hang on for your hat. But if we
Yeah.
can get to halftime 0-0, we're feeling okay.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah, if it's 25 minutes and they haven't scored, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, my score line was 2-0. I don't even want it to be close. Like, in a sense, I don't want it to be like a 1-goal game. I mean, I know it doesn't make it makes because then that pressure for me. So I just want us to win 2-0. They don't score anything, and we go home. I don't know what you guys think.
I want to see who his front three is going to be. That to me says a lot.
Hmm.
I think you're going to roll with Saka, Martinelli, and Moreno.
If Partey's healthy.
But you got to also think that you also have to be in the mindset that this could go 120 minutes.
No.
You have to be prepared for
we
it.
are not, and that's see for me mentally. I'm like, we are not playing 120 minutes today, folks.
No, I
Right?
get that, but you
No.
still have to make-
Like we are not playing. We're not giving up a goal, so there's no reason for us to worry about that. So guess what? You're gonna be at your defensive best today. All right. And guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna punish them when they make mistakes because they're gonna make mistakes. Right.
They're
And that's
still prepared
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah. Now,
Agree.
if we played the 90 minutes that we're supposed to, yeah, it won't.
But
we'll be going to 100 like that, right? Having to play an extra 30 minutes after being up 3-0, that's when mentally that's the draining. It's disappointing.
and
that's a lot of minutes on legs that have
yep.
had injuries on it this season too.
We're already having issues with what we got now. An extra 30 minutes in that type of game, we might not have that many players left.
I mean, for us to give up 3 goals on Wednesday, I think we would legitimately have to just literally crap our pants.
True.
This team hasn't given up 3, and I know it could be speaking into existence, whatever. Channels across all YouTube are having the same discussion. All Arsenal fans are saying all the jinx words at the same time. It's okay. It doesn't count. I don't know. I'm nervous about it. I am. I know I keep telling you I'm good. I'm not. Listen, our emotions will change in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Defense has been what we
know.
leaned on all season, and I expect it to happen again. Like it has, like every game, even the games we've lost, our defense has been good. Yeah. So Tony, what's your prediction? Because Spencer, what did you say what your prediction was? Oh, you're thinking about you brought up 120 minutes when I asked you for a
I
prediction.
just said you got to be prepared for it. I didn't say it's going to happen. I think if Arteta and Albert AirPods and Carlos Cuestra and all those wonderful fine chaps that run this club, from just the great power of leadership, whatever. If they're not somewhat prepared for like, hey, we have how you have your scenarios. You have this is plan A, plan B. Here's plan D. That's the 120-minute one where they have to think about who comes on. Like Jorginho comes on at this time. Like there's just, I know.
But Arteta handles that one because these guys.
2-2, Gary.
Yeah, you have 2-2. I don't.
I'm going a 1-1.
All right, you guys are going for the draw. I don't like. Yeah, I just want it to be. Yeah, I want to enjoy the 90 minutes. So we take the lead. They don't look like they're going to get anything out of it. We go up 2. They definitely don't get anything after that, and then we move on. So is it Newcastle United and Chelsea would do well to sign Ramsdale? Yeah, I think. But what sucks is Ramsdale was a good goalkeeper, and in a way that Arsenal handled that whole. I believe they handled that whole situation. It was as if he wasn't a good goalkeeper all of a sudden. And I think it's the way we kind of treated him, and it lessened his value.
Yeah.
But he's a starting goalkeeper in the Premier League. He was on a squad that was considered one of the best defensive teams in the league, and he was the goalkeeper.
Southampton will sell him for more
than what we sold him for, which is terrible.
But you could also make an argument that Southampton holds on to him just to try to get back up.
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to probably take the money.
I mean, it's interesting because I don't know what else talent they really have that anybody really wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's right. Remember that Rice didn't even listen to Jover in terms of crossing the ball and not just trying to score it. And it's supposedly Sacker backed him up and said, "Yeah." He's like, "I can't make it around this. I can't make it over this wall." So he just went around it and scored. So I if that's what happened, that's not good. That means that the coaches don't know what they got. I saw that. I know they were showing Rice kicking free kicks in practice before the match, and if that's what I mean, I don't understand why he wasn't taking free kicks. And we talk about, like, did they not see it in practice? Was he not allowed to take him? Like he got corners all of a sudden, and he's looked good there. Free kicks is free kicks.
And that's where you usually see your free kick takers is the midfield. Those guys usually have the legs, the power of a ball in there, do the curves that's needed.
Yep. Yeah. I like I said, that's you work on those things in practice, right? Practice. Yep. Practice. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Gary's starting to sound like Allen Iverson.
Well, Allen Iverson has 0 titles, so there is that. But they weren't going to win against the Lakers that year they played in 2002.
Yeah, you need more than one. You needed more than one All-Star in the team. He didn't really have any All-Stars with him, and you saw LeBron with only him on the team. You're not winning anything. Gets 3, he wins 2 out of 3. So every one he's won, he's had an All-Star on his team with him, I believe. So there you go. Can't do it by yourself in basketball. My concern with Arteta is the constraints placed on attacking players. Our defense base is strong, sound enough to allow them more freedom. The problem is he gives his defense more freedom. I mean, we've seen goals from Calafiori. We've seen goals from Miles Lewis Skelly, right? I mean, in positions where you're like, if that was our wings, they probably wouldn't have taken that shot, So or been in a position for some reason. So I think it's a different kind of freedom as well. Our attackers don't get to just do, either what they can do best or what the defense allows. I always say take what the defense gives you.
Well, who's our best corner?
And I don't think Saka is our best corner.
I think Rice is.
Saka is one of the best creators, and most of them, and a lot of them come from corners. Like we are not scoring corners now, and Rice has been taking a lot of them, right?
Yeah,
and that's
we also don't have Gabriel.
Well, now we don't, but we had him before, so it wasn't an issue when we had both of them. Like
I still think Rice delivers a good ball. Saka does too. I mean,
we were scoring with Saka.
I want to look at the stats on that.
Yeah, Saka, I think is.
Let me go to the stats, Gary.
You can't. You going against Saka now? What is up with that? Trying to say Saka.
I'm not going against Saka.
You just
hold on. Go back to that. We just saw some.
You said
I know it's from earlier. But see, it's from earlier.
You were correct about something.
It was earlier. Okay, I know what he was talking about.
Yeah, no, I think we'll score. I mean, I just, I think I would like to score first. That's all, and then like that will quiet the crowd, and then maybe get them going crazy, and then score again, and that just sends them over the edge, and then they have to leave.
Yes, we have had the predictions.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. 3-1 Madrid, says Stefan. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. No, not even.
That's too close to have a heart attack or a stroke.
Yeah, no, and this is another thing. Yeah, so he's going to miss 3 of the last 4 matches. Mbappe with the red card, and that might seal Barca as the title holders. I think they already have at least a 3-point lead on the pack. So yeah, they might put all their eggs in one basket, and our chances is to break open that basket and all the eggs crack. That's what I want to see. All right, Stefan will be right back. We're here for a bit. We're almost hitting the 90-minute mark, so we might be getting.
What do you
mean
we're here for a bit, Gary?
Oh, we've been here for a bit, or we only got a few minutes, and we'll probably head out of here. Geeks and Muckleby says good night. Have a good night there, geeks of Muckleby. Yeah. All right. So I think we've hit the end of the show. We talked about Real Madrid 3-0. We talked about Brentford 1-1, and we're talking about Real Madrid question mark, because we don't know how that's going to go, but we know how we want it to go. Basically, with Arsenal having a matches set up in a semifinal, playing at home against. I don't think I care who we play.
Just play Kivior. We haven't lost with him.
There you go. Kiwior
Gary,
might be the man.
I
Yes,
have
sir.
the answer to the corner stats.
Yeah.
And number 1 in the league, 52 corners, 10 assists, Bukayo Saka. Declan Rice, 92 corners, 6 assists.
So
I also wonder what that number would have looked like if Saka doesn't miss his time. So overall in the league, assists from corners, Declan was 13th. And actually, Damsgaard of Brentford is the best assist to corner ratio, if that makes sense. So somehow Jacob Murphy's got 9 corners and 10 assists. I don't think that's right. But anyway.
so that's that tune math. Yeah.
It's some sort of math that's not mathing.
Yeah. All right. So, Tony, talk to the people. Let them know what's up and where to go.
Yeah. Wednesday, just watch Arsenal, and hopefully they don't let us down. Thursday, it'll be 10 p.m. UK, 5 Eastern. Be our weekly show, preview show of WrestleMania. Then be 1 o'clock p.m. on Saturday. We'll be Stand and Deliver, the NXT. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern, it will be WrestleMania Night 1. Then the next night be WrestleMania Night 2, which they've actually this year went ahead and done something they haven't done when they have 2 nights of it. You know what matches are on which night. So.
Cool. Check out. What's the name of your channel? I was gonna say Miss. Go ahead.
Missile Dropkick.
The Missile Dropkick. Yes, check that out. And we got Spencer.
All right. Well, I really was looking at the NFL draft, and that's next week, so I need to do my own, mock draft. I think I did one last year where you just kind of pick the players for your team, whatever. I need to start getting up time because that's coming. But again, Gary mentioned this. When your team has a quarterback, the approach to the NFL draft is a little bit different. I've kind of been enjoying, the football, soccer, shall we say, and enjoying the baseball. So I haven't really pivoted back to the NFL, but we're getting close to the draft, so I'll probably start doing that. But yeah, the Thursday show will come back eventually. It's just there's not much to really talk about, really. I mean, if we're honest. But I'll probably do a live stream for the NFL draft, so we'll see what happens.
Cool. If it works out, maybe I'll join you or something.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that all
We'll
plays
see what
out.
happens. 100%.
Cool. If you let me, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're fine. Like I said, yeah, you're good. We're good. We'll talk.
Yeah, that's right. Eddie Howe was in the hospital, had pneumonia type symptoms, and he'll be out at least for the next 2 matches. So hopefully speedy recovery to him. I don't think, they've shown that they can probably handle business. I guess playing Manchester United with Isak up top and him basically open it up, basically makes it easy for everybody else, and that's what happened. So, yes, the ref has probably sorted it. We'll see. Madrid is covering the roof. Yeah, noisy. Check out these lists. You got Missile Dropkick Wrestling Show with Tony. You got Christmas Lights with Spencer. Stan the Man with his DJ mixes that he does once in a while. Got Tiger and Guna, his channel. Didn't like Eddie's Bournemouth team for the cheating off the ball sort with my own eyes, but I don't wish people harm. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, you're talking about back in the day. Yeah, you know what? Those teams could always Bournemouth. If that's the team we're talking about, I don't remember that team, but yeah, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. This is my channel.
I mean, they're fighting for survival at times too. I'm not a big fan of the dark arts, especially some of the time wasting. Like, and I'm going to call out one of our own guys, Gabriel Martinelli. You're either glass or you need to be a little bit more tough, because every time he gets hit, he gets act like, is he out for the season? That's his reaction. And I'm like, no, it's I hate it. I'm sorry. I'll leave that alone.
Oh, Tiger and Guna will be at the pub at, I don't know what time it is what time is that for you? It's early in the morning, I guess, right?
I say he's going to be in the UK.
Oh, in the UK. Oh, even better. All right, cool. Got Miss Melina's channel. I might go to the pub and watch it, Stefan. Yeah, I think the pubs will be busy. Everybody's going to want to see that one.
Look at Stefan's comment. Poor little Bournemouth. Absolute cheats.
I didn't go through all the channels because some of them are repeats. But everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll do this again next week. Hopefully we're talking about 2 wins. Right? And it'd be nice to get 2 wins in a row. That'd be, really good. You're flying out tonight. All right. Very nice. So you get in, what is it? By tomorrow evening, maybe? Not tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon. How long is it from Australia to England? I don't know. It's at least 12 hours of flying, right? So you've been in the afternoon, I guess. Cool. Enjoy. Hopefully you get a chance to check us, listen to us from there. 5 a.m. you get in. Okay. All right. 5 a.m. you get in? That's 5 a.m. Thursday, right? Sorry, Wednesday morning. Because 5 a.m. would be in what? That's it. That would be on Wednesday morning. All right. So you're going to be tired.
You can sleep on the plane the whole way, right?
There you go. Yes. Cool. That sounds good. Wednesday morning. Yeah. So you're gonna sleep on the plane, and then when you get up, you're gonna have to go for the whole day, because I have a feeling it's gonna be crazy. 18 hours of flying. Ouch. You know what? I flew from Maine to Malaysia. I left on a Friday, and then I arrived on Sunday morning because of the time difference and because I was going the long way. Yuck.
I think the DC flight to Bahrain was like 18 hours, but again, this was some nice military flight, so they stopped in like 9 different places. So it was 10 times longer. It was like a 24-hour flight when it was all said and done.
Yeah. So, when I came back, we left on Friday the 13th at 3 p.m. We arrived in LA Friday the 13th at 6 p.m.
There you go.
That's why I like it. That's why I always like going to Vegas, because you actually end up paying an hour flying from here.
Yeah. That's the nice thing. Yeah. So, and no matter how, I've got a bar camp book to read. You're supposed to be getting your sleep, dude. You should read up on, I don't know, something else so you don't have to stay awake. Straight through to London. 18 hours, man. Yeah. I guess the one thing they do on those flights, I don't know if they do that anymore. They just kind of feed you wine and stuff to get you knocked out. So hopefully that happens to you. But anyways, we'll be back next week. Hopefully we're talking about 2 wins. It would be nice to get 2 wins in a row. We're talking about the next set of games against whoever we're playing. And hopefully we can pull away from Nottingham Forest and secure our 2nd place finish. And I think that'd be good for the team. And go from there. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Everybody want to say bye-bye?
See ya.
Bye-bye. Good night, Tony.
And good night, and we're out.